some of the tools of the trade that we'll be using throughout these video series. This knife can be used from a freshwater brim to a large game fish. It's probably the most versatile all-around seafood cleaning knife that you can possibly use. The reason I like this knife so well is the fact that it has a curved edge and this finger guard, and when you're using it, you want to place your index finger on the guard, and this blade now becomes an extension of the nerves in your finger. And with this curved edge, you will see throughout this series, it works best for cleaning your seafood properly. In our shad boning video, you'll see that I use two knives. This knife is good for removing the smaller bones on the shad. And as you'll see, when you do the shad, you'll need both of these knives to do it correctly. The other knife that I use, and I like this knife a lot because it's very long, it's flat, and it's also flexible. I find this to be a very good knife when it comes to skinning your fish. From a small fish, it covers the area. If you go to a larger fillet, you can use it in a seesaw motion to give you all the range you need. This knife really turns out to be the best skinning knife that I have found. This is a Santa Safe oyster knife. The reason I like this one is because of the long, thin blade. The shorter blades don't give you quite the leverage you need, so when you're placing that oyster down on the table and you're coming in the back joint, you have a little better leverage than on a shorter blade knife. And also, if this knife should slip down into the oyster when you're opening it, you won't hit your knuckle and cut it. We use this knife throughout the series when we show you how to open a clam and also how to pick a crab. It's very useful, it's very small, easy to handle, and I find this Santa Safe clam knife as being one of the best as well. This is a shrimp peeler that you'll see used in our series. You can use this with one swift motion to peel and devein your shrimp. The best way that I have found is start at the top of the shrimp, push right on out right before the last tail joint, devein the shrimp first, then come back and hand peel it. These are very useful, and you can find it at your local seafood store. It's important to invest in a good cutting board because you don't want your product to be sliding around on a slick surface like a countertop. After you start to use this board a while, you'll get a few knife grooves and edges in it, and it'll allow your product to stick, and you'll be able to control it much better when you're cleaning. I want to give you a few tips on sharpening your knife. First, I like to use a carbon steel bladed knife because it holds the edge better than stainless steel. Second, I like to use a whetstone. Start with the coarse side of the stone first, keeping the knife as flat as possible, drawing the blade from the edge of the knife to the top of the knife. After doing this a half a dozen times on each side of the blade, flip the stone to the smooth side, making a couple of passes on each side of the knife blade to knock the burrs off. I'm Captain Vince Russo. Don't just do it right.